Hello everyone, welcome to our first session on C Sharp programming, where we are beginning a journey to become a confident C Sharp developers. C Sharp is a powerful, versatile language used in everything, from building web applications to creating games, and it's a highly in demand language. Whether you're a beginner or looking to solidify your skill, you're in the right place. And today, we are kicking off with one of the fundamental concepts, that is variables. Ever wondered how we stored information like a player's score in a game or customer details in an app? Yes, that's where variables comes in. Today we are going to break down what variables are, why we use them, and how to name them properly in C Sharp. And by the end of this video, you'll have a solid grasp on using variables in your own projects. Let's see how we can declare these variables using C Sharp. So I'm creating a new project. Here you can choose a template console app C Sharp. Here you can give project name as variable demo. Click on next. Click on create. Now let's declare it as int age is equal to 25. In this example, we are telling the computer, hey computer, I need a box called age. And inside it, I want to store a value 25. So this box can only store whole numbers because we declared it as int, which stands for integer. So, why variables are so important? Imagine you're creating an app that tracks person's details like their name, age, and salary. So, without these variables, we would have to manually remember or we need to re enter these values each time when we need them. Correct. So, with the help of these variables, we can store the data only once and we can simply refer to it whenever we need it in our code. For example, say you want to calculate how much a user saves each month based on their salary. You would store the salary in a variable like this. Double salary is equal to 50,000.75. And you can print it like console.writeline salary. Variables allow us to store and access and even update the data efficiently. This makes our code easier to manage. Now that we understand the concept of variables, let's talk about the different types of variables in C Sharp. Depending on the type of data we want to store, we need to declare the variables with the correct data type. For example, we have int that stores whole numbers, and we have double which stores decimal values, and we have string which stores text value within double quotes, and we have boolean. It will store true or false values. Let me show you an example where you'll use all the variable types in single program. This will make the things clearer, right? Here we have stored the age as an integer and salary as a double which allows decimal values, and the name has string that too we are storing within a double quotes, and whether the person is an employee using this boolean value, that is true or false. Let me run this code. Say here we are printing name Harshita, age 24, salary 45,000, employee true. This structure is super useful, especially when you're building an application that needs to handle various kinds of data. Now that you know how to declare variables and also understand their types, correct? Let's talk about naming your variables. Yes, even though you're free to choose names, but there are some ground rules you must follow. Variable names in C Sharp must always begin with a letter or an underscore. In this example, here you can see in total amount is equal to 100. You're starting with a letter. This is correct. The below example in first place is equal to 1. Here we are starting with a number. So you cannot start a variable name with a number. Always aim for a meaningful names that make your code easy to understand. That means like you should always provide a meaningful name while declaring the variable names. In this example, string customer name is equal to Lavanya. Here we can clearly understand that the customer name is Lavanya. In the below example, string C is equal to Lavanya. It's not very clear. So, while declaring a variable names, give a proper meaningful name. In C sharp, the convention is to start this variable name with a lowercase letter. See, we are starting the variable names with a lowercase letter and we are capitalizing the first letter of the each subsequent word. Here we are capitalizing N. Correct. This is called a camel case. And the next one is like variable names cannot contain spaces. So if you want as separate words, either you can use a camel case like this first name or you can use an underscore, but you should not use spaces in the variable name. This is incorrect. And the next one is like you cannot use C sharp reserved keywords. For example, int, class, or string. These are reserved keywords. So you cannot use these keywords as your variable names. And the last one is like a special characters are not allowed in this variable names. Except this underscore, you cannot use any other special characters in your variable names. Let's talk about few best practices when naming variables. These steps will help you to write clean, professional looking code that is easy for you and others to understand. The first one is if you follow a camel case naming convention for one variable, stick to it for all your variables. This keeps your code clean and predictable. And the next one is you might be tempting to shorten names, but please avoid cryptic abbreviation. For example, instead of AMT, use amount. Instead of CT, use count. Since variable represent objects or data, it's a good idea to name them like nouns. For example, uh, employee name, total price, or order number. These are all good variable names. Unless you're using the variable names in loop like I or J, avoid single letter variable names. Instead of N, you can use number of items for instance. So remember, your variable names are one of the main ways your code will communicate with you and others. So make sure they are clear, descriptive, and consistent. Now, let's bring everything together with a real world coding example. This time, we'll create a simple program that calculates the total cost of items in a shopping cart. We'll use variables to store item names, their quantities, and their prices. In this program, we are storing details about a product in variables, its name, quantity, and its price, and then we are calculating the total cost by multiplying quantity and price, and at the end we are displaying everything using this console dot write line. Let me run this code. See here you can see item, quantity, price per item, and the total cost. All right, that's a wrap for today's session. Now you know what variables are, why they're so important, and how to declare and name them correctly in the C sharp. In my next video, we'll be diving into another crucial topic that is data types. So don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and as always, happy coding. Have a great day.